Come join Melissa and her guests on the Chats from the Blog Cabin podcast. From North Carolina, this podcast will have you feeling like you've known these folks for years. Listen in as they chat about life, culture, current events, and more, all with a special Southern flair. Curl up with your favorite beverage and get ready to be entertained. Tune in now for a unique experience that's fun and insightful.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Chats from the Blog Cabin, the show where I virtually invite people into the Blog Cabin to chat about life. And today we are chatting about a topic that I think everybody wants to chat about, and we're chatting with Alicia, Dr. Alicia. She is one of the authors of Tipsy, a woman's self-guided method for managing alcohol. So let me see, get it there. Dr. Alicia, thank you so much for coming on and for writing this book. Before we get into the book, let's tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, thank you for the invitation to your very important program. Well, I am Alicia Lamborghini-West. I am a doctor in psychology, and my mission is to help women, Melissa. This is my mission, and always I have this, starting when I lived in Buenos Aires. It is 31 years that I live in the United States, but my career started in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So there I, my 25 years in private practice as a psychologist were particularly important. I worked in an outpatient programs where all the people there were women. All the doctors or the client, the staff, everybody was women. So I come from a family where, with the exception of my mother and myself, everybody is male. So being surrounded of all this positive energy, it was a very important part of my life. At this clinic, I learned one thing that stayed with me since, and it is how many social pressures women face, and how unhappy, guilty, ashamed we feel when we don't rise at the level of the expectation. This happens in all cultures, in all social classes, at all ages. So everybody, you are a woman, you are exposed to these pressures. Mm-hmm. So my mission was to help women in this regard. Now, many women use alcohol subconsciously or otherwise as a way to calm external and internalized pressures. All the pressures can come from the outside, become also internalized. We have pressure from myself to myself. So many women start or use alcohol that is widely accepted in our society as a way to calm these external and internal pressures. Single mothers, stay-at-home moms, professionals under stress or required to attend events, shy women, women going through divorces or empty nesters may feel compelled to drink often, believing that alcohol helps them to cope with the challenges they face. Slowly, this becomes a daily routine. It becomes a habit. And on top of that, if other women are doing this too, we have these groups that in the books are called feminine drinking culture, these feminine drinking groups where that becoming a space to gain validation or justification from other women. Mm-hmm. Messages, for example, Melissa, it is not your fault, you did the best you could, they don't understand you, you deserve a drink, don't pay attention to that. These kind of messages that make my stress go down, and I feel comforted with that. So there is the drinking by themselves, and then the drinking in groups. And always, or almost always, we as women, we drink in relation with problems, with negative emotional states. So one thing takes the other, and the other takes the other, and we keep drinking and drinking until we go to bed. So this is the reason I wrote with a co-author, Tipsy. Not for women who are alcoholics, for women that maybe they are crossing the line. And when you cross the line with alcohol, you are entering in a dangerous territory because alcohol is addictive, and all the things related with alcohol are in the same
Yeah. So what are the feminine drinking trends like you talked about just a few minutes ago? Can you name some of them? So people were like, that might be me, or that's me. Oh my gosh, that's me. Especially reading the book, I was like, oh man, you put so many great points out.
Yeah. The feminine drinking culture helped women develop a friendship and support system that is the opposite of the envy or competition between them. Women in general have this competition or envy, and this feminine drinking culture helps women to become kind of friends, to connect from their weaknesses, from their problems. So from their essence. So it is a kind of dangerous that, because it is not superficial things. It's what we are in our core that we share with other women. And we find justification or validation from other women. So it is very strong, this feminine drinking culture. And we see that is beyond the girls' night out. It's beyond that. It's to spend days together, to make trips together, to meet once a week or twice a week in a bar, in a house, in a place. So it is very strong, this feminine drinking culture. It provokes a willingness to be vulnerable as women bond over alcohol. To illustrate that, I can compare this with the drinking on men in general. I am always talking in general. Men drink in general linked with an occasion. For example, they meet in a bar, or they meet to see a game, or something to celebrate. And they drink related with positive reinforcement or to share something, usually something positive. Women drink in the other sense, to share something that maybe is negative or is stressful or is provoking to me to be ashamed of that. And I need help, with this shame or guilt or whatever. So it's a different way of drinking.
Do you think women are more emotional? Like they
Yes,
drink,
absolutely.
so they were able to give words to their problems of how they're feeling, whereas if they weren't drinking, they would.
Right. Of course, women drink linked with emotional negative states. So absolutely is related with emotional things. Absolutely.
So why is that such a complicated relationship that women have with alcohol then?
Because of that. Because it's related with negative states, negative emotional states. And women tend more than to resolve the problems, to talk about the problem, to get support about the problems. It is difficult sometimes to take action about something. Men talk about things more related to resolve things, but we drink more related to share things and to look for comfort, support, help, a word that help me to be better in this situation, something like this.
That's awesome. We need to take a brief commercial break.
Yes.
Back.
The threats women face today are unparalleled and even more dangerous than ever before. 1 in 3 women globally has been the victim of an assault. Women are terrified and they are looking for answers.
In the book, Street Smart Safety for Women, we draw on our experiences, both personal and professional, to provide those answers. It's by women, for women. Street Smart Safety for Women is available wherever books are sold.
In a world full of chaos, she chose to anchor her story in hope. Through storms and silence, she found strength. Now, she's inviting you to do the same. This isn't just a book, it's a lifeline. For every woman who's ever felt unseen, your healing begins here. Anchored in Hope, available now.
And we are back with Dr. Alicia, and she's going to read part of her book, Tipsy, A Woman's Self-Guided Method for Managing Alcohol. So, Dr. Alicia, it is all yours.
Okay, I am going to read the 3 C's, seductive but destructive lover. Anne Johnson and Caroline Knapp wrote about the intimate bond between women and alcohol. We continue and expand their ideas by looking at our personal relationship with drinking as a romance in which our lover, alcohol, is attractive, enchanting, and seductive, but very destructive. As a lover, drinking has unique characteristics. And here come the 3 C's: casual, central, or committed. Take a look at your relationship with alcohol as parallel to an intimate relationship. You may have a casual relationship with alcohol if you drink frequently, but alcohol isn't central in your life. Crossing the line would be rare but possible in the long term, just as a relationship with a friend can grow over time as you see the person more frequently. The same can happen with alcohol. The relationship can move from casual to central. So think about the consequences when you start drinking more often. The second, you have a central relationship with alcohol in which drinking is vital. Alcohol is part of your daily routine and planning. Every occasion is suitable for a drink, and all your social activities revolve around alcohol consumption. Nevertheless, you may not consider that you already have an alcohol problem, except for an occasional flash of clarity. As your relationship with alcohol becomes closer, problems arise in your other relationships. The third step, one more step, and you may be in a committed relationship with alcohol. You feel strongly attached to your drink, with signs of substantial psychological and often physical dependence. Being in this kind of relationship will make you drink every day and cross the line consistently. You and both have moved in. You live together, and all other relationships and realities takes second place. This creates a profound change in your life. You may start having difficulties with your job, family, and health as you become self-absorbed with your drink. Alcohol will turn out to be your primary commitment or priority. Given continual, consistent drinking over time, your relationship with your lover, alcohol, goes from casual to central, and central to committed. And we have an original quiz at the end of the book that is a quiz to measure which is your relationship with alcohol. Is it casual, is central, or is committed?
Yeah, I love that. I also love there was one part.
Thank you.
There was one part in the book where it says if you give a hand to your drink, it will take your entire arm. One drink is
Right.
hardly ever just one drink. And I highlighted that because I was like, that is so true, because there are some people like when you, especially with a group of women, you start one drink, oh, I'll
Yeah.
have one, and oh, I'll have two, I'll have three, and then before you know it, you have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you don't even realize that, Melissa. You know, it is like this. I come from a culture where drinking is expected. Like here in the United States, it's expected. But you have to know how to drink, because if you overdrink, it's a sign of weakness or something like this, you know. Well, anyway, but here, when we have the opportunity to drink, we can drink. Say that we are in a wedding and we are going to be in the same resort or hotel for that night. What is the problem to overdrink? No problem. No problem at all. You don't have to drive. You don't have to do nothing. Nobody expect nothing from you. It is like this, you know. So it is easy to go from casual to central, central to committed. From come back from there is difficult, or it's difficult and it's expensive.
Yeah. You talked about the cultural pressures, because I know that my husband's from Mexico, so there's a lot of cultural pressures around Hispanics about drinking. So let's talk about how we can navigate that cultural aspect of drinking.
Well, the thing is that it is a tremendous pressure to drink in this culture, because, for example, I don't drink, but I used to drink in the past. You know, I was a social drinker. So people say, why you quit drinking if you didn't have the problem? So it is the idea that you can quit drinking only if you had a problem, if you were an alcoholic. So you have to explain or not, like anything in life, in your private life, you can explain or not, or do whatever you want to do. But it's a pressure, you know, why you are not drinking, you know. In the feminine drinking groups, if you don't drink, you are not trusted, you know. You are not one of us. Something like this, something like this. You are not one of us, you know. So there is a lot of pressure to drink, you know, and we are all together. And what is the problem with this? So anyway, I felt that pressure on myself when I quit drinking many, many years ago. And I say, I am happy like this. So we have a method in the book to go through the steps to do whatever you want. You can decide to drink in moderation, or you can decide to quit and be sober, not miserable sober.
Yeah. So how can women navigate that? Because obviously you said there's pressure, especially around the holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving,
Right.
New Year, Christmas. How do you navigate that when you're like, okay, I decided not to drink anymore, and your friends are like, oh, come on, you're no fun anymore? Because I have a situation where my two oldest daughters drink, but my youngest daughter doesn't drink, even though she's of drinking age. She just chooses not to. And they're like, why don't you want to drink? You haven't even ever tried it. She says, I have no desire to try it. So how do you get
It is difficult. It is difficult. And I can say, because I went through that. So, but what I tell women, if it is a personal group, an intimate group, you can explain, you know, you decided to do that. If it is a big group or something like this, you can choose to say or not say, or like anything in your personal life, you can share or not. It is your personal life. So it is something that you have to decide before the event, you know, what you want to do, you know, to disclose or not disclose, or, you know, that is.
And there was another quote in the book that I loved, and it says, when you're leaving your comfort zone with your drink, what you really fear is the unknown. You're leaving behind the day-to-day routines you're used to, where everything is the same and feels like it's under your control. Your comfort zone is an easy, cozy place. but it lacks challenges or opportunities for growth. Nobody progresses while they're stuck in their comfort zone. Indeed, the prevailing feeling there is comfy but trapped. So let's talk about
Right,
that, because a
right.
lot of people
Yes,
think, oh, alcohol is like my comfort. Like, come home from a long day at work,
yes,
you've seen it. People get a glass of
right,
wine or
right.
a beer or
Yes,
whatever just to unwind, and that's their go-to. So how do
yes.
we get out of that comfort zone to keep from feeling trapped by that drink?
No, sure, to go outside. This comfort zone is extremely attractive because whatever happened in your life, you have this comfort zone where everything is going to be under your control, under your decision. You know what to do, what to drink, what to talk about, etc. If you decide to go outside this comfort zone, you are going to feel fears. You know, what I am going to do with my problems? What I am going to do with that time? 2 or 3 hours that I am drinking and sharing things with other people. It's a lot of fear. So we guide through the chapters what to do with that and how to deal with regular social situation where you are compelled to drink. So it imply going to a fear zone, but the fear zone is connected with the learning zone. What I can do instead of that, how I can replace that, with other things that could be attractive for me. So you have to look for different group of people or hobbies or activities that you can do in those hours, or anything that touch you could be a good element to go through the learning zone. And the learning zone is conducting you to go through the growing zone. And there you have to establish yourself in the growing zone, where you are comfortable and you can incorporate other things, more creative, more healthy, etc.
That is so true, because there's a lot of times there that pressure is to, oh well, you could just have one drink, but then that one drink can be a gateway to more drinks. Women, especially like you said, they don't feel like they can actually share a lot. They don't feel like they can be vulnerable until that alcohol changes the way
Yes,
people
yes, yes.
respond to things. How can women become more vulnerable without the alcohol?
Well, we explain this. We use principles of positive psychology and cognitive behavioral therapy to transform beliefs, to rewiring mindset, your attitude, in front of different things, developing new routines in your life, and setting new expectations. So we help women walk through the learning zone model. As I explained, I told you, Melissa, going through the comfort zone, leaving that comfort zone with that lover, this attractive lover, to go through a fear zone, the learning zone, and growing. And then we guide them through the stages of grief. That this was developed by Kabler-Ross many years ago, but it still is used for any time you want to leave something. You can use these stages, and are the stages of grief denial. At the beginning, that comes the anger because why I cannot do that. Then began the bargaining, just one day a week, just one to drink, Then depression, when you realize that you have to put a point, discipline or quitting that, and then the acceptance. And this is a model very operative, because if you reach the acceptance stage, you can return to the other, but always you are going to come back to the acceptance until you establish yourself in that acceptance state. So we develop all these elements in the book, and now we are writing a workbook because there are some women that say, I am so busy, I cannot read the book. So I say, okay, we are going to write a workbook, and we are almost finishing this workbook, So for these women that are busy with children, with works, with whatever, they can have something simple and chuck, 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 and you decide what to do with your life. Because the main objective is conduct the reader to a new, deeper, and more liberated self, that you decide what to do. Not alcohol or the others or whatever. No, you decide. You are the owner of your decision. And when you decide, I say you, not to you, Melissa, to the world, to your audience. When you decide that, it's like illuminating a room. Previously, you see like this, but when you decide controlling your drink or quitting your drink, the room is illuminated with all the decoration, with all the beautiful things, and this is the purpose of getting this liberated identity.
I love the fact that you said you're creating a workbook, because who knows, with women, maybe instead of having that drink, they sit down with their workbook for maybe 5-10 minutes in the car.
Exactly.
Or they walk into the house and work on the workbook.
Exactly. With exercise every day, your reflection, with all the things, your purpose, all the things. And then, Melissa, I like to talk with you. And then we are planning a book that we have some writing for the families, because the member of the family usually cry or yell or have negative reactions in front of it. So how to help that women that are crossing the line? Yeah. How to help that? So this workbook is going to be for the families or for significant others or whatever, the person that are close to that women. So a way for 2 workbooks. This that is going to be at the beginning of next year, and the other for the families or the significant other.
I love that, because you're hitting all avenues right there. You're like, hey, this is why the woman's doing this. We'll let you guys figure it out. My mom's doing this, or our sister's doing this.
Right.
And that way they don't have to really, they can hand them the workbook and say, this is why I'm doing this. So they don't have to really speak out why they're doing it. They're just saying, here, you'll understand it better if I hand you this and let you see it.
Exactly. And also for men, because men can, these evolved men that can understand the pressures women go through and how this impact their relationship with alcohol, because men can help women for a better world, where everything is, when we are team players. No, one up and one down. No, team players at the same level.
So what made you decide to write Tipsy with your co-author, Pilar?
Yeah. Well, we were thinking that, and then we decided to quit drinking. We were both, we are mother and daughter.
Did not know that.
No, yeah. Pilar, out of the blue, she was a social drinker also. Out of the blue, she decided to quit drinking. So she told me, and I say, Melissa, but sometimes we are going to drink in weddings, in Happy New Year's. Yeah, And she said, okay, yeah, we decide. So we went to a vacation together, and we decided to take the whole day to make activities, and from the sunrise to the sunset and all the things, and read and talk about this decision. And when we returned, we decided to write the book. And it took 5 years, all the pandemic, and yeah, because we started in 2020 or something like this. We were in the pandemic, by telephone, but writing the book.
Writing the book with your daughter, though.
Well, she's my daughter, but more, she is a companion in life. We did so many things together. Her and myself, we were 15 years by ourselves. So we travel, we made a lot of things. She's an engineer and I am a psychologist. So we are different, but we are complementary in many things. So it was a tremendous, good, excellent experience. And she knew more about me and I knew more about her. So it established a new bond between us. Yeah.
I love that because most of the time when you hear people like they work with families or they do something with a family member, they end up with hard feelings or end up arguing or end up like they don't end up speaking to each other. But I love the fact that you said it increased your bond.
Yeah, oh yeah, and improve and increase our bond. Yeah, that was awesome. And we talk about I am older, she is younger. So we talk from different perspectives, in the book. So it can be, very convenient for women different ages. Yes.
Was there a point in the book where you wanted to keep something in and she wanted to take something out, or vice versa, and you both had to kind of fight for your own opinion? Or was it just pretty much, okay, I'm going to add this in? Oh, yes, mom, it's good. Or yes, daughter, it's good.
That is a very interesting question. Usually we talk about the topics and we reach a middle point. I never thought about this. That is it. You are very good, Melissa. Yeah, really good. So yeah, we reach a middle point because she can see something that I don't, and me also, I see something that she, so we can complement that point with the two visions. In a state of struggling, we complement the, I don't know if I explained this well.
Yeah, you like compromised each other. You
Yeah.
took it and you compromised and you worked out a way that you both could agree on it instead of saying, we're going to completely take this out of the book. You said, no, let's keep it in.
No, that, yes, absolutely. And we have the book until one point, and then we added 3 or 4 chapters more because in the writing of the book came new ideas and new opinions about friends, and that they were close to us. So we decided to add. It has like 20, I think 20 chapters. We started with 16, something like this.
Yeah, it's 20 chapters.
20 chapters, yeah.
That you were like, okay, we're not going to stop. We're going to continue. Do you have plans to write another book with her? Or
yeah. Well, I don't know with her because she is very busy, but I have 3 projects. Well, these were books. Then comes the grieving. All the books that I write are for women. The next is a project G that is growing through grief. This is, and then the last one is going to be relational trauma. Because in my opinion, Melissa, 95% of women are exposed to relational trauma. I don't say physical, but emotional, psychological, and they accept that like this is life. No, it's not life. You have to recognize that and have a conversation about that. You know, these kind of things, you are so sensitive, you always say the same things. These kind of comments that are so, it looks that they are trivial, but they attack your self-esteem. And the self-esteem is the motor of the self. If you have high self-esteem or high confidence, nothing is going to stop you. But if you have low self-esteem, everything is an obstacle. So this relational trauma attacks essentially the self-esteem. And then I say, I am not good enough, or I am not going to do that because I will not be able. All these things that limit your life.
Yep, for sure. And plus, too, that can also be the gateway when you have that low self-esteem of drinking that having that one drink, and then two.
Exactly. You know, the self-esteem, the confidence is there, you know. I cannot manage this, you know. Yes, one drink, two drinks, three drinks, whatever, you know. And tomorrow, well, but tomorrow is today, and I am going to do the same, right?
Sure.
So, yeah.
So our time is almost up now. Is there one little thing that you either want to reiterate about something we talked about, or something that we didn't touch on that you want to talk about right now before we talk about where people can find you and find the book? The floor is yours right now.
Well, I think that with your questions, we covered a lot of things, you know. I don't think anything else. You are good. I like your questions. Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Yes.
you. Self-esteem up right now.
Yeah.
So when do you think the other two books, that the relationship trauma and the self-esteem?
No, these are going to be for next year or the other year. These are two very important topics, and I want to work, you know, with all my elements, and also with cases in a state of going down when we grieve, to go up, you know, to grow with that, with the legacy, with experience, with the moment that we live it together, to go up.
Well, when those books do come out, you are more than welcome to come back on, because I think that's something that we need to deal with grief, and we deal with relationship traumas, because a lot of people don't realize it's a trauma. They think, it's a little slight, but it's something that literally weighs on us.
Exactly. I am going to be connected with you, Melissa. I like your program.
So tell people where they can find you at.
Well, I am in social media. I am not active in social media because I don't have time, but I am in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, with my name, Alicia Lamborghini-West. With my name, you can enter. And then I have two web pages. There is, you are putting there, Alicia Lamborghini-West, and then Tipsy Women. This is the other. But we put a lot of things in Tipsy Women, a lot of articles, a lot of conversation, a lot of things. So you can send your comments or your ideas or your experience. Everything is going to be welcome and responded.
And then the book Tipsy, A Woman's Self-Guided Method for Managing Alcohol, where can they find that at?
Well, it is in Amazon. Both my books. This is Your Life, Your Way, Become Aware of Social Pressures Limiting Women. This is the on social pressures. And both books, Tipsy and Your Life, Your Way, are in Amazon.
Dr. Alicia, thank you so much for coming on and for sharing your heart, for writing this book with your daughter. Now that I know it's your daughter, it makes it such a more special of a book than ever, because I absolutely enjoy reading it. I mean, I did the talk to speech because I'm also about the Kindle version of it. And so I listened to it, even though your publisher sent me a copy of it. I actually bought the Kindle version and I did the talk to speech so I could listen to it while I was doing other things. And I'm like, hold on. And I was like highlighting it as that were going on. So thank you so much for coming on and for sharing this.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Guys, I will put in the show notes everywhere you can find Dr. Alicia, as well as where you can find the books. So until next time, bye. Well, friends, that's it for today's chat here in the Blog Cabin. I hope something we shared sparked a thought, warmed your heart, or gave you a little encouragement for your journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, do me a favor, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a new conversation. And if you'd like to spread a little love, leave a review or share this episode with someone who needs it. Remember, this little cabin isn't just mine, it's ours. It's a space where we show up, share stories, and shine a little light together. Until next time, keep living with hope, keep anchoring yourself in love, and never forget, you've got a seat saved here in the Blog Cabin. Take care, friends, and I'll see you in the next episode.